Hi, it's Nicole, and I'm here with Positive Impact Magazine for another special episode for Mind and Body. It may sound like a strange thing for me to invite a travel advisor on a Mind Body show, but I actually believe it has a lot to do with grounding the root chakra and relationships in the second chakra. Today we have Lauren Rock from Dynamic Escapes. Hi, Lauren.
Hello, nice to see you.
It's great to see you. I was so excited when I first saw a little bit about what you did online because it just gave me such, I want to say, reassurance that people are still able to go out and about right now.
Yes, and
Do you have
and
a
we
lot?
need to go out and about. We need to not stay inside our homes for our mental health. Even a walk around the block is getting out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I find it to be so refreshing just to go for a hike. Like you are a big advocate of that, right? Are you really busy right now with a lot of clients doing that?
People are investigating it. It's mostly staycations and things. Give me a couple of hours max that you're willing to drive and planning out a route. And just people recognizing how important this is to spend time for themselves and with other people, not just at the kitchen table that they've been at for the last 7 months.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Even we have a little rec center over here and a path, and I drag my teenage son out with me because now I'm his gym teacher as well as his mom.
You're
So
everything.
yeah, yeah, exactly. But it is true. Like I feel like we just need the fresh air. If we're not getting social interaction, the very least we could do is get the fresh air for ourselves, you know.
It's important. That's how we're made. I mean, we're not meant to spend inside. Our bodies are meant to get out there, be in some sunlight for many reasons. Yeah.
Exactly. So, what are the top, like, if you had like a top 10 or a top five list for people to travel right now, what would that be? What does that look like for you?
What I'm suggesting to people is that looks like a rental home or cottage or cabin, somewhere where, really all you need is a kitchen and internet and
Right.
a good roof above. So there's a lot more parks, forests, woods, small communities that have that than people realize. It doesn't have to be Yosemite and Yellowstone and Grand Canyon unless you live within a drive's distance of there. It can be, the Chattahoochee if you're in the southeast. It can be the forest outside of Asheville, which is only a couple-hour drive for a majority of people on the East Coast. There's a lot here that people don't recognize. So depending on where you live, if you're up in north, the Poconos, towards the south, there's all the areas around Virginia, North Carolina, Mississippi, Louisiana. There's just so much that people don't know about.
Oh, I agree. I mean, literally, like you could see my backyard here.
Yeah.
There's it's called something called limestone preserve, and I literally just we've been here a year and a half, and my son took us up there. It was the climb of my life, honestly. I mean, I fear the heights. You know, I'm not really good with heights, but at the top of that mountain, we actually found one of the balancing rocks in this area. Have you
Oh,
heard of
yeah.
those?
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was stunned. I was like, "Oh my gosh, what is this and where did it come from?" And so it
Yeah.
provoked a whole different, family conversation about like
Hmm.
where we live and what's going on, like the history of it.
Yeah. People don't realize how much they have in their own backyards. And for people that aren't in the woods types bikes, people are rediscovering the joy of and freedom of being on a bicycle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to fix my bike actually just because of that reason. I agree.
Bike stores are doing a huge business in bike tune-ups and new bikes. So
That's
it's kind of
awesome.
a step back to a simpler time and reminding ourselves that those simple pleasures and times have a place and they're important.
Absolutely. I agree. And now, like when you do travel, do you have any special tips for like when you're actually traveling, how to stay safe, how to
Yeah.
keep yourself, away from, people or things that might compromise your health?
Yes, and what I do for folks and what I recommend folks who want to do it for themselves is first think, how far a drive are you realistically comfortable doing? Then that drive needs to be mapped out. Things like food stops, bathroom stops, break stops, figuring out where you can do that. Are you bringing sandwiches in the car in a cooler? If you're not, are there places to take out along the way? And is there some place to eat it if it rains or the weather's cold? A
Hmm.
lot of public provided rest stops on your major highways have the doors that you don't have to touch, sliding doors to open and shut, and picnic tables. So just plotting that out is the first step. And then where are you going to be? Are you picking a place that is a home in the middle of a city that normally you'd be like, oh, I can walk to, oh, wait a minute, are those things open now? Am I comfortable going to those things now? What
Yeah.
are you going, what, rethinking what the destination is and what you want to do there. And right now, for most people, that means a more natural setting. It doesn't have to mean an hour from a grocery store. In fact,
Right.
you want to think about that. Do you really want to be an hour from a grocery store? You don't want too much around you, but how much groceries can you fit in the car? How many rolls of toilet paper do you have? So
Right.
those logistics, and then just what are we going to do there? Do you, people can do, like I said, the biking, the hiking, the stand-up paddle boarding, the kayaking, canoeing, all of those things are still being offered by rental facilities, and finding out who they are, where they are. If you feel you need a guide, well, do you really? Where are you?
Yeah.
What hikes can I find for you? And if you do want a guide, are you meeting them outside? Are you the only people in your group? Things like that.
Really important stuff.
And then
I
bringing stuff with you.
I agree. We did go on a brief trip to North Carolina. My sister had rented a condo. She does every year, and we were surprised actually at how many highway rest stops were closed. We were
Mm-hmm.
actually, I was like, "Woo, am I going to make it to the next one? Am I going to make it that far?" And so you may
Yep,
want to just do a little bit of a map and like chart out where those rest stops are, call, see if they're open. Even some of the ones that were open, we were kind of surprised that they were just open for the bathrooms and no food. So we were like,
exactly.
okay, how are we going to handle that? And well, I
And,
mean, obviously we managed, but and then when we
and
got there, we were very blessed. The beach was empty. There's no one there. It was just like
exactly. It
beautiful.
depends, what state are you going to? What are the rules in that state? Are
Yeah.
you renting something that's within a state or a park, a national park, no park at all? So what I do for people and advise people do for themselves, if that's the route they want, is research the heck out of what you're doing. Don't just trust what you see on some internet post.
Right, right.
You,
Or call you, hire you.
yes, exactly. I'm very happy to do that for people. That's what I've been doing, is
Yeah,
spending all that, contacting the sources and people that I've already known. And we are all well aware of the need to pivot and need to match the needs of today. So talking to the people I know and saying, okay, what is really going on there and what can be done there.
see, I think that's vital. Like, I do very much trust and depend on the people who live there, their advice and guidance. And I've just gotten into the habit of doing that, like calling the hotel in advance and asking about the local fare and, what's available for a 15-year-old to do. What can I do if I'm alone on the beach? Do they rent umbrellas? Do they rent bikes, like you said, and all that stuff? So,
Yeah, and are you comfortable in a hotel? Some people are rediscovering the old-fashioned motels that don't have the common lobby entrance, but instead
right.
have the outdoor entrance with your own heat and AC system. And again, that
That's,
brings up what about food? Are you going to be eating out all the time or not? Do
yeah.
you really, you might want to look at that kitchen.
Yeah, yeah, no, I love these tips. I love them. So, how did you get started as a travel advisor?
I have always loved exploring new places and new ways of living and experiencing. And I'm also really enjoy researching. And I put the two together and took all the required classes. Well, they're not really required, actually. Anyone can call themselves a travel advisor, but I took
Right.
the classes, I got the certifications, and I keep up with my research and with what's going on, be it
Hi,
across the
I just
country or around the world.
I just want to say hi to Raul. Thank you for dropping in, Raul. Um,
Hi,
that's
Raul. I hope to meet you.
that's awesome. Do you also arrange trips, like, if in better times, would
Oh,
you
yeah.
be able to do trips in Europe and things like that? And
Exactly. I specialize in doing custom planning for people. finding, who exactly is going, why you're going, what each person on the trip wants to do. And then I build things to match. So I don't resale package tours, although occasionally there's clients that want that. I
Right.
go out and create things for my clients. I don't work for a certain travel company or a hotel chain or anything like that. I'm completely independent, so I can match what people want. And I've done everything from family road trips up through Canada to families who wanted to go to Germany to parent-child, grandparent mostly, grandparent-grandchild cruises, girls'
Oh,
trips to Barcelona. Um,
that's awesome.
yeah, no matter who it is and what it is, I custom fit it to them. And I feel like I get a little bit of travel with each person as I do the research, and I know the excitement they're feeling when they find that new place and or somewhere they've always wanted to visit. And I'm
That's
still doing that
phenomenal.
for some folks. There are people, depending on what you want later, your small group bike tours, hike tours, river boats, not big ocean liners. Those things are really capacity controlled, and they're already starting to fill up for 21 and 22 as all this pent up
Really.
demand has been building. So,
I've been surprised at some of the local wineries here in Connecticut how they want reservation fees now.
mhm.
And they're booked through, the rest of the holidays, and it's just remarkable. Raul could be your connection in India, apparently. He does these they have
Right?
those things in India. So you two should connect after we're done.
I'd be happy to. I'd be happy to. It's amazing how many things and how many specialties and connects all over, be it food, yoga, culture, chocolate. I mean, you can focus in on most anything of interest to anyone.
Raul says Lauren is right. If you go through travel company, your travel will be a hurricane tour. So yeah, so I mean there's definitely a benefit to having an independent travel advisor. Are there any other tips that you can give our audience if you want to travel better, follow custom tour? Oh yeah, definitely. So
That
any like weird trips that people have done that you've never done before, like just strange requests?
I had a family that literally road tripped from Atlanta all the way up to Canada, across Canada and back with 4 children, a boy who at the time was turning 16, a
Wow.
daughter who was almost 15, and twin 13-year-olds.
Wow.
Yes. And when they returned, the son said it was the best time he ever had. And he was really enjoyed getting to know his family in that way. And for me, that was the visit. I mean, you have a son that age. Can you imagine
Yes.
him doing that and then coming back and saying how meaningful it was to him and how much he enjoyed it?
Well, it's funny, like we haven't taken that kind of trip, but like I said, down to North Carolina, and
Yeah.
like it's so boring when it's just your mom and your dad. But I'm sure with other siblings, it's a lot more fun, So
Well, that is part of it, is including everyone that's going. You don't want just one person in the family who not only is making the decisions that will please them, but more often than not, the mom who's responsible for everybody, and everyone turns to and says, "What are we doing now? Why did you book this? Where do we go?" You
right.
want something that everyone in the family or the friend group is excited about, wants to do, is capable of doing, and just addressing all those needs so it's neither geared towards nor one person nor one person stuck with all the responsibility.
And I do hear you talk a lot about the familial bonding and relationship building in that regard. And I think this is a special opportunity to be able to do this. It's like we're always off in different directions all the time. So to be able to do something like this is so amazing right now.
Yep, and it holds true for friend groups as well. I had a group of young men who went through Peru before COVID.
Wow.
And for them, same thing. What did each friend want from the trip? What were their expectations, their various needs and desires? Um, Church groups. I've done a number of groups. I had a group of seniors that did a whole history tour of the Brandywine Valley, which isn't too far from you.
Wow.
And it was wonderful for them to be in all those places and all those sites without having to worry about anything.
I think that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So
So,
where's your favorite place to go?
oh, I don't have a favorite place. That's really, all this places. I love Costa Rica. I love British
Oh,
Columbia, that part of Canada and the US West. I love
I've been
Australia.
there. I've
I could
never been
eat
there.
chocolate endlessly in Belgium while you go from place to place.
Oh,
Let's see. Vancouver is wonderful. Asheville has so many waterfalls. There's nothing like the sound of running water.
yeah.
So that's part of my problem is I'm kind of an addict who keeps feeding my own addiction by
I
planning
was
for
gonna
other
say,
people.
you have to be passionate about travel to do what you do.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
It makes me very happy, and I want other people to have that same happiness and that sense of experience, regardless of where their trip is. If they're an hour from home or they're 10 hours from home.
San Jose Beach in CR, Raul says. That's a beautiful spot, I guess. You know what? I was kind
Yes.
of surprised. Maybe you know the history here. I was kind of surprised. So my family is actually from Brittany, France. And
Mhm.
when we took a trip from Seattle to Victoria, BC, and I was shocked. I saw like all these restaurants that had my grandmother's headdress and clothing, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're from Brittany, France." I'm like, "How the hell did that happen?" You know, like, the,
Yes. If
wow.
you're a history lover, you can learn so much when you travel, and be it the big World War II trips or the smaller, go to Chattanooga and learn a lot more about the Trail of Tears.
Yeah,
Um, and yeah, in Vancouver and Canada, you can be in Little England or you can be in Little France. You can go to Victoria
beautiful.
Island, and if someone plopped you there, you would be, where in England am I? It's amazing how much diversity there is all around us.
It's incredible. It's really incredible. Well, I've just had so much fun with you today. So any like
Thank you.
parting comments or tips you want to leave with the audience?
My parting tips are don't neglect yourself. Again, if
Oh,
it's an hour from home or a few hours from home, you need to take care of yourself. An afternoon walk in the woods in a part of your neighborhood you've never been in can be a vacation, but don't forget the big ones and plan. We are going to get through the other side of this. And when we're there, whether it's you planning something for yourself or contacting myself to do it, don't neglect it. My motto is life is about the experiences you have and the memories you create. And we need to focus on those more often, in my opinion.
I love that. I also feel like you reset your energy when you're out in nature. You know, you're grounding yourself and you're giving yourself a source of nourishment and energetic revival that you don't get in anything else. It's just an amazing thing.
And if you're not a nature person, museums, some are reopening and there's other places. Don't, things may be different, but that doesn't mean we can't pivot and learn and adapt to them
That's right.
safely.
That's right. Beautiful. Beautiful job. Thank you,
Well, thank you.
Lauren.
Thanks so much for inviting me. I look forward to other times to connect.
Yeah, I'm sure we can do this again. Right now, we're just so, I think we're all so terrified of COVID. I just really wanted to tackle like how you felt about travel at this point in time because I think everyone is so fearful,
It needs
that's
to
no
be,
way to live.
you have to be responsible, you have to be careful, but you also have to be creative.
Yes, yes. Well, thank you for
Yes.
all of your advice and guidance. I'm so happy you're
Thanks so
doing what
much.
you do.
And Raul, I hope we can connect as well, and anyone else out there.
Yeah. So Lauren is with Dynamic Escapes. Lauren, do you have any other social media you want to talk about where they can find you?
They can find me on Facebook. They can find me on LinkedIn, Instagram. Those are my main three. Or on my website's just dynamicescapes.com, dynamic-escapes.com, and you can reach me there. So I welcome any
Awesome.
connection that works for you.
And do you have an 800 number or anything?
I don't, but if I have my main self connection that's always with me, and I can call back and reach out to people if long distance is an issue for them.
Okay. I'm just putting your dynamic-escapes.com, right?
Exactly.
I'm just putting it in the notes so that if people reference this and rewatch it at another time, you know where to find Lauren.
Yep, and I'm on LinkedIn by my name, Lauren Rock, and also by Dynamic Escapes.
Oh, look, Raul's giving you his email.
Oh, great.
Yay.
Thank you, Raul.
All right, love. Thank you so much, Lauren. Have a
You're welcome.
fantastic day. And
You
thanks for
too.
being my guest today.
I appreciate being invited. Bye-bye.
Yay. Bye.